So, you're still being a grumpy wumps. Can't get over Game of Thrones season 8. So you're not watching House. Well, then you're missing out. Let's have a look, because I got over it. We had a discussion last week about can we get over it, and I'm glad I did. Let's take a look at it. Hola. Right, episode 2. Let's get into it. It's coming into its own now. With episode 2, normally takes 3 episodes of any series for me, just my personal thing. When a new series comes out, if you can give it 3 episodes, I think you know or you don't. If you're struggling, well, episode 1 anyway. I think it's coming into its own now, but within the Game of Thrones world, their history, their world building, whatever you want to call it. It's his own show, which I like. The characters, obviously, we can get into it a little bit more now, but it still kind of feels like it is in that Game of Thrones. You know, they throw a bit of music in, and it's, you know, I think they're doing a good job, and I enjoyed that bit more. Now I'm relaxed after episode 1. I think we were all tense. Now episode 2's here. I found myself just relaxing and letting it flow, and, you know, breathing again. And is it the perfect programme? No. Game of Thrones wasn't either in its first series, its first season. So, and I know I compared it last week, episode 1 with episode 1, but you know what I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at. So the visuals still superb. From the stuff on the beach with the crab feeders, the opening. Oh, I've got to say spoiler alert. I know I'll put it on the thing, but let me say it anyway before we carry on, and I'll ruin it for you. Go and watch it and come back. And on the beach with the crabs, there's a scene, a temple with a candle, with the candles, which was really nice, minimalist scene. With the fire, I don't know whether it was echoing something about the dragons, the dragon fire. I don't know what it is about and the sound was brought right down. And there's not a lot of action in this episode compared to last week, where I think they wanted to entice us in, which was fine. I think this is getting into the nitty gritty of it all now. We're getting into who we think is going to sit where with things. So, which I found really interesting. And the dragon, and talking of visuals on one last thing, the confrontation on Dragonstone on the bridge between Daemon and the Hand and the princess swooping in on the dragon, I thought was superb. I really did. I thought that was superb. That's more like it. Now that's more like it, and it's only in episode 2 where I felt, oh wow, yeah, here we go. And obviously Daemon and with the egg, having stolen the egg, I just thought, and at the end, it just seemed like a natural thing for him to just lob it back at the princess after she kind of, just everything about that scene I thought worked. I thought it really did work, and the princess character, Renee, wherever however you pronounce it, the relationship between her and her uncle, which they kind of established in the first episode, I'm glad to say in the second episode we get a lot more of her and her dad, the king. I'm really liking that. So I'm liking this triangle between the 3 of them, with her in the middle of a triangle. Don't know if that works. Anyway, but she's in the middle of her uncle and her dad, and she is become, for me, she's becoming a night. I know she's only young in the story, but nevertheless, the strength she's, you know, she gets kind of, one of her ideas gets rejected, and you know, all the old men are standing around going, oh, shall we find her, you know, shall we find her something else to do, go and choose some knights, well, or night, whatever it is she's got to go and choose. But I just thought it was really nicely done. You can see that she's seething underneath. You can see, but that's to maintain her dignity. At the end of the day, this is the king, and this is, you know, the small council, whatever they call it. I assume they still call it small council. But anyway, all the old boys saying, oh, bless, you know, thank you for that, but fuck off. And she's seething with it. Then we get more of her and her dad, which, like I say, that dynamic, I think, is really being explored nicely between two good actors. Like I said last week, she's a good actress. I don't think old Paddy had a lot to do last week, the king, really. But now I think he's getting more... He's got more to get his teeth into, and perhaps as an audience we're getting a bit more to get our heads around, you know, more of the intrigue coming in. The Hand's daughter, you know, not sure I'm trusting her at the moment. I'm not sure. I know it's her dad, the Hand, who said, oh, you know, go and cheer him up. Well, and we're all thinking, yeah, we know what world we're in, we know how she's going to end up cheering him up. But anyway, I won't go there. Not for this episode anyway. I'm sure there's going to be rumpy pumpy aplenty to be talking about in later episodes, and the political machinations of it all. You know, the Hand and Corvus, is it getting the right saying, look, you know, why don't you marry my daughter, and you know, we can do this, do that. I mean, he's had the right from the beginning, hasn't he? In the small council. Oh, it is Corvus, isn't it? Lord Corv, whatever it is, but he's had the right all the way along, and it comes to a bit of fruition. I'm trying not to give too many spoilers away, to be fair, because I know, you know, I'd rather you have seen it, and if you have, you know what I'm talking about anyway. So I'm liking that as well. He's got the Damon's got the we don't know about the Hand and his daughter yet, and what his ambitions are. You know, the Maester and the other bloke, who's been sitting next to him, suddenly the king's asking him for a bit of advice this week in secret. But anyway, I'm sure they'll go there. Because I am beginning to trust them a lot more than I did. You know, like I say, we were all on our guard, weren't we? You know, our hearts were broken once. We're not going to let you do it again. But I would say it was enjoyable episode, intriguing. That scene on the bridge, you know, we I think fans of this series, and I know there are a few who still got the they're still hung up on season 8. Well, nothing's going to please them until they remake season 8. But let's move on and have some decent series of this, because I'm happy with it now. I think I'm happy, relaxed. I think some of the CGI is still a little bit too CGI heavy. If I'm going to nitpick, I would say it's still a little bit CGI heavy. You know, they seem to want to show these wide angle vistas of CGI buildings and towns and islands and stuff, where I don't know, I kind of don't want to see it in the dark like they did the Torches in season 8, talking about that where you see the little dots. But nevertheless, I'm really nitpicking it. Didn't spoil it for me. I think maybe I'm getting used to it, and it kind of comes along and goes. So now I'm a bit more relaxed. I think I'm over it. You know, they're going to have a bit of CGI in it. So what, get over it, you geeky old hog. And the only other little nitpick is these characters at the moment, it's getting better. And I think when the guys and girls who've made it are kind of got all of this, they've got us rolling. Because at the moment it feels like there's a lot of telling and not showing. But I know there's a lot to cram in. There's a lot of characters here, and I think once we understand them and we understand the dynamics that are working here, and we know who's the traitor and who isn't saying this and who should have said that, and he's hiding this, or she's doing this and she's hiding that. So I do understand they've got but they're only two small nitpicks. That's all I've got. Other than that, I did enjoy it, like I did last week. I'll keep it short and sweet. And I'm looking forward to next week. I've got to say, I think there was enough there in this episode. It was a quieter episode, but like I say, I think they needed to do it, and it is difficult to show rather than tell when you've got this much to cram in. And I reckon episode 3, I think some things are going to kick off, don't you? They left us on the beach, didn't they? They left us on the beach with the old crab eaters, or crab feeders, sorry, not crab eaters. I'm a crab eater. I like them. Anyway, we won't go there. And I'll leave it at that, on that bombshell. And I'll see you next week and bid you adios.